Well, hello there, it's me here on the floor. Welcome back to the channel. Cash is here with me. We're doing this as a little playtime and answering your questions all about homestaging. So bear with me. We might hear him in the background, but I want to answer all the questions that you guys have about homestaging. So this is going to be like, my team have split these into sort of more beginner level questions, and then we've also got some advanced questions which we'll go into a separate video. So let's talk about these questions that you've got more on the beginner side. Okay, so the first question, I've got them here on my phone, are what are the realistic startup costs for a homestaging business? Now that is a great question because I often talk about how you can launch your homestaging business with absolutely no startup funds. And the answer is you basically can, right? Now, when you launch your homestaging business, basically the way that you can work it is that when you get that first client, you can use that money that first client pays you to buy that kit. And then at that point, you're probably not in a lot of profit, but by the second client, when you then rent it to the second client, you're taking almost all profit because you own the kit and you just have to pay the expenses from property A to property B. So realistically, you can start your business with absolutely zero startup funds, no money at all to really get there. Now, if you want to accelerate your journey and you really want to learn how to run your business, then I always suggest investing in mentorship and coaching in some sort of training program to help you get there. And at that point, you would need startup funds to invest in that program. Now, with that though, that's an investment, right? And with every investment, you're looking to get an ROI, which is basically a return on investment. So whenever I invest in a program or a coach, I think, well, how quickly can I make that money back? How many sales would I need to have or make? How many clients would I need in order to make that money back? And so that's how I work it out. And with, if you join one of our STAGERBOSS programs, you're usually going to make that investment back in just 2 clients. Other than that, your startup funds, you might need, a bank account, you might need different apps and softwares, but they're not really going to set you back anywhere more than maybe $30, $40 a month. Okay, so your next question was, how much time should I set aside in order to grow my homestaging business, launch it? Well, the answer, of course, is as much time as you possibly can, but to be realistic, I would say I'd want to work in my business minimum 2 hours per day. So that over like a 5-day week would be 10 hours, but really 14 over a 7-day week. And you can either do the 2 hours a day, or you could try and do like 4 hours one day and try and fit it around your schedule. But the way that I suggest doing it best is to have as long a time chunk as possible to work on it. And it's because in those times you can then do what I call deep work. So there's this amazing sort of theory of deep work, and it's actually written in a whole book by Cal Newport called Deep Work. Now don't go read the book, you don't have time for that, you need to go launch your homestaging business. But in that book it basically explains that the time that we're most productive is during deep work. And that is a minimum 2-hour period where we can fully focus on one thing, distraction free. So no text messages, no WhatsApps, no notifications, literally you just fully focused on whatever it is you're working on, right? And so what you want to do is you want to look at your calendar and work out, where can I find those 2-hour blocks? And if I can find larger blocks, then the better. But guys, you are going to have to sacrifice in order to build this alongside your 9 to 5. You are probably going to have to sacrifice some time. You might need to wake up earlier, go to bed later, and really just, get it done. I mean, I'm recording this video, it's a Sunday morning, and it's because I've got so much on my to-do list that I need to sacrifice some of my weekend to get things for my business created that I need to do, right? So as much time as possible, but 14 hours a week. So your question was, what are the pros and cons of buying versus renting furniture? And this means your staging kit. Well, I always advise to buy your kit. I don't even talk about renting the kit from someone else because I don't think it's a sustainable business model. So basically you've got two options, and it is you buy the kit, you own that outright, and then you rent it to your clients, or you could rent your kit from another staging company, you know, white label it as your service, but then there's just very little profit built into that. Because if you buy your kit, you've got one cost only, and that's the first time you buy it, and then you can make so much more from that. The minimum you're going to make from a kit is probably about $12,500 a year, and that's only charging $2,000 per stage. 1 second.
It's okay, Munchkin.
Really, you might think, well, I'm going to rent a kit, then I don't need any storage or anything like that. But in the long term, or even in the short term, you're not going to make much profit, if any, because then your prices would be extremely high. I literally just keep turning myself and this camera around the room to make this video a little bit more interesting. But your next question was, do I need a qualification to do this? The simple answer is no. The only qualification I've got is the one that I left high school with, and I don't have any other form of qualifications, but I run a 7-figure home staging business. And when I launched, I had no experience. My first stage was literally a paying client. Every woman that I've worked with at STAGERBOSS is the same. None of them have staged before. They've had no experience and no portfolio. So it is possible to be able to do this without any of that. Now, in the UK, there are no certifications, there's no qualifications. You cannot become a certified home stager. So if anyone tells you that, then it's simply not true. Okay, so your next question was, how do I identify my target market and decide on the types of properties I'll focus on staging? So basically there's more than one service that you can offer in your home staging business, and you have to ask yourself, what service am I most interested in offering? Now, I've recorded a full YouTube video on the different types of services, so I'm going to link that in the description below and also link that just here. First of all, you need to ask yourself, what service am I interested in providing? And then having a look at the market of, well, are those types of properties in my area? Now, when I'm talking about area, I'm talking about traveling for up to 2 hours to go and stage. So staging for sale, you can do that in any area, but it's, I guess, working out what are the general types of properties that are on the market. The easiest way to do that is by searching on the different search platforms and look at, well, what is already listed? What is the minimum price and what is the maximum price that I can pay for a property? Also doing a look at, are they mainly apartments? Are they mainly, you know, detached homes? What is it that's on the market right now? And then from an SA and HMO point of view, if you want to offer more of like a furniture pack service, then have a look on things like booking.com and any platform where you can book accommodation short term. And that's going to give you an idea of how much accommodation is out there and the size of that market. By the way, I thought I would just show you my view.
Cash, say hello. Hi, baby.
Oh, you're smiling. So your next question is, how should I approach pricing? So when I teach pricing, there's a few various processes that we go through. The first is looking at your target market. So who is it that I'm attracting with this? Who is it I want to work with? And what price will they be willing to pay? Then there's looking at your competition and who else is in your area, what they're charging, and are they on like the lower or the higher end of the quality and the staging that they provide. And then from there, it's really more of a, what do I want to take from this? What profit margins will I be happy with? And then pricing from there. Now with pricing, there's always an element of trial and error. You'll know if your prices are too low, if you're getting yes, 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 and you're hearing that you're always the cheapest quote. And whilst that may sound great, you might be leaving money on the table, and you'll know that your prices are probably too high if every other company's coming in lower than you and you're getting constant rejection. So that's really how I manage my pricing. And there will always be a trial and error phase until you find what works for you. Your next question is, what are some of the common challenges when launching your home staging business? I would say your biggest challenge is getting that first client. That first client can almost always feel like the largest uphill struggle ever, and it's because it's the first one, right? The first of anything's challenging. Once you get that first client, I always say that that's like the first domino falling in the domino effect, basically. Like, once you get that client, you then can start to build a portfolio. You can take tons of photographs of that property, use that as your feature, use it on your website, use it in your marketing. So it's just getting that first client that can be the most challenging. And it's why in our program, we actually say that if you join us inside our signature program, Staging Business Secrets, we guarantee that you'll get your first client in 90 days or less, or we'll continue working with you until you do, right? So if you want any more information on that, I'm gonna link that below, and you can jump on a call with our team and learn a lot more about how we offer that service and how we can support you. But that first client is the biggest challenge, and it's because it's the first one. This ties me in nicely to another question, and it was, well, how do I get that first client? So of course there's a whole world of ways that you can get client number one, but the ways that I've seen the most success is, number one, approaching your current contacts. And these people don't have to be your ideal client. This could just be anyone you know. You never know who you know knows. What? You never know who someone that you're connected with, who they'll be connected with. They could have your ideal client in their contact book. So by contacting everyone you know, whether it's professional relationships or personal, there's a good chance you're going to be connected to someone some way down the line where they may need your services. So that is always my first port of call. And also, they're your personal contacts, so you have an up on anyone else who's looking for that client too. Secondly, you have got, networking, which is very powerful. And where I got my first client, literally there is pools of people congregated together in certain days of the year that are your ideal client that you can go and talk to, which is insane. So networking is incredibly powerful. And then 3, for me, would be online. You can reach anyone anywhere in the world with an online presence and social media marketing, which just blows my mind. So start talking about what you're doing. Build up a launch sequence to build excitement around your brand and to start talking to people about, hey, this is what I do. And your final question was, what are some of the other things I need to set up besides marketing in my home staging business? Now, I'm not a lawyer or a financial advisor or anything like that, so I can't actually give you any official advice. But that is very important to seek out. I always advise my clients, one of the first things they should be seeking out is an accountant. Just to keep you right, okay? I really don't know too much about tax and finances, but my accountant is the expert in it, and at times has saved me a lot of money and made me avoid a lot of mistakes, right? But I have to employ their professional services in order to run my business correctly and keep it protected. A financial advisor or an accountant is incredibly powerful. Insurance, so making sure that you're legally protected and your team are protected, your clients protected, your business is protected. We're all about that protection. But really, don't let any of this stuff hold you back. Just get launched. You don't really need anything to get launched and get that first client, so don't overthink it too much. Apart from, you'll need a bank account in order to collect that payment. I see people putting so much in front of them so that they can procrastinate and actually not start the business. So do not let any of this stuff Don't let any of this stuff stop you from starting. You'll even see me here today. I'm not letting this stop me. The fact that I've got Cash here with me. I need to get this video recorded and we've done it. It's been so much fun hanging with you. If you've got any other questions about how to build your home staging business, then put them in the comments below and myself and my team will collect them and we'll record another Q&A with me. It's been fun hanging. Thank you for joining Cash and I. He is. This has been fun and I'll see you on our next video.